We are visiting pia24147 again, and this is part two. We're going to put some more attention on some other areas, and you will notice some very interesting structures that do have implications for other types of otherworldly technology or whatnot. And we'll look at several areas and implement various types of probing gadgets or whatnot. And let's get to it right now. The part two. And in particular, this would be the area that we are having our attention placed on, somewhat more specifically this area in here. Voila. And of course, we were here not too long ago, and we have found various structures that have the implications for otherworldly types of design or whatnot. And these other areas would be around here. That we're going to focus on a bit more.
We will be putting our attention on these particular areas. And we were looking at some other areas in the first video, of course. And we'll incorporate some gadgets and programming, of course. Now you can probably notice some detail right off the bat. And you can see that there are structures here. Perhaps you can notice the rising tower in the circle. And types of structures. Globes. Are they domes or whatnot in these particular areas? Are these buildings? Are they manufacturing establishments or whatnot? Is there a civilization here? These are questions to keep in mind. And notice the elevated structures with shadows, even without using any tools as yet. And this area here seems to have an elevated plateau, perhaps some type of mountain, with a circular design in the center, a concentric design. You probably notice the structures on top as well. And with the burn instrument, you can see that the dark areas are brought out. You can notice linear contours, smooth gradients that would indicate types of building concepts, structures, or whatever you'd like to call it. And there are intricate designs here as well. this. It's just a matter of getting familiar with it. And zooming in a bit, you can probably notice the reversed angle C-shaped object there. It does seem to have elevation. And there are other structures all over this panorama as well. I noticed this circular structure in the center of this rising plateau. Is that some type of dome? You can probably notice some more intricate patterns patterns. It could be buildings, it could be manufacturing regions or zones or whatnot. And just incorporating some other probing gadgets. This one would be the brightness and contrast to instrument. This would be the dodge tool, which would bring out some light areas of course. You would probably notice some more detail and structures to the top left and the top right. And the bottom left and bottom right as well as noted. Just a matter of getting the scenery. Zooming in a bit, you can probably notice more detail at the top middle part. You can notice those linear patterns. Now, are these otherworldly creations? You'll have to come up with your own ideas, of course. And you can notice structures on both sides of the top part of this region as well. And zooming in a bit more, you can see there are intricate symmetrical linear patterns of design. Are these civilization establishments? And with this particular panorama of pia24147, we will be putting our attention on these particular areas.
And now we're zooming in on another area of PIA 24147, and that would be this area here. And in particular, we'll be looking at these structures here. And at first, as usual, it does take a while before you get more acquainted with the panorama. And you could probably notice some very interesting structures right away, such as right here. It does look like some type of dome made of plastic or glass or whatnot. Some elevated structures here. Interesting ridges and shadows here. Are these types of buildings or whatnot that was noticed in the first video? Just notice the symmetry. Notice there's another globe-like structure here. A whole concentric vista for this particular, quote, urban setting. Notice all the intricate designs all over the place. And these would be some of the particular areas to be noted. There are quite remarkable patterns here, you must admit. And incorporating some further probing with area code B of pia24147 and this second visit to this panorama, we're going to implement some other gadgets of probing, which would be, now as you can see, this does bring out some darker areas, and of course it would be able to discern some particular shapes and patterns and whatnot. You probably notice them right away, and if we expand it a bit, you can notice that there are some designs here. You can see the various shapes that seem to be organized shapes, symmetrical, arranging concentric types of creations all over the place. That's the globular structure, which could be in fact some type of dome. If this leads you to further speculation, of course.
And here we are
And
on
these types of
the second
patterns were
region,
noticed
which would be
previously.
Area B. And there are many different vantage points that we could incorporate. However, we're going to concentrate on this particular area here. And we're starting off with the burn instrument, just to bring out the shadows and the elevations.
And with some further
And you can probably notice that
probing with the dodge
right
tool,
away,
you can see it can get even lighter. And just notice
see
how
the ridges,
emphasized the
symmetry.
are.
You can probably
Notice this
see structures,
That's very interesting.
architecture that could
Now, are
be
these
buildings or what.
patterns and designs all over here? And you can see there are some elevated
It's not
areas.
a dome, they're very circular.
Is this a civilization?
Object with some reflection off of the left quote side of it.
Is this otherworldly types
And just
design?
zooming in a bit more, you can probably
Spend
notice
some time on it.
detail.
Well,
Notice the symmetry,
Oh,
architecture, and adding
circular
the dodge instrument, which brings out light areas. You can probably see some very much detailed structures here.
And the like.
At elevations, you can notice some circular globes as well. They could be further types of domes or whatnot. And is this a city here? Is it a landscape of urban designs?
And implementing the contrast brightness tool, we get this.
And adding a
And
bit
you can
more
see
of the
that
contrast brightness, you can see
designs
that
and patterns are
those
still there.
areas are still
Elevated
there.
areas,
Particularly this
various
area here,
towers,
notice the circular concentric pattern
unified
here
towers, or whatnot.
with
Just notice all the
elevation
circular patterns,
for certain
regular patterns,
groups of buildings
and
or
the like.
whatnot. And the light does bring out some more detail. This over on the left side, you can see how the light just kind of brings out the contours and the symmetry and the patterns and whatnot. They're all over the place, actually. There or even some structures in the upper boards, the upper left, the upper right, the upper center as well.
That's area C of pia24147. And that would be this area here. Now notice the area in the shadows here, and that's where we'll be implementing the contrast and brightness tool. And that would be with this particular gadget, the contrast and brightness gadget. And incorporating that for a while, you get something like this. And at first it's kind of hard to notice anything, but we'll use some highlighting to come up with some particular regions. That'll be this area here, highlighted. And as you can see, contrast brightness does bring very interesting features. Just notice the structures in here, the elevation, the symmetry, patterns, the linear gradients, whatnot. And these areas here, just notice the elevated structures here, centric designs here, more elevated regions there. What are we looking at? Are these in fact extraterrestrial designs or whatnot? Concealed in the shadow somewhat. These are just a few, there are many more, and also the areas that are not highlighted also have interesting structures all around. And inside the highlighted areas, just notice this circular globe at the top of the structure. Just using the contrast brightness tool to curve the shadowy areas, this is what you can find. More structures here. Very much like the first one, the other areas of it. There are elevated structures here as well. If you were an extraterrestrial civilization, over here as well as those structures. If you were an extraterrestrial civilization, would you be living on the surface of these structures? Look at the symmetry. And, or would you be living underground as well? Able to come up, function on the surface with these buildings, with roots or whatnot. You must come up with your own thoughts and synopsis or whatnot, more structures in here. Just notice this. Just notice all these intricate structures all over the place. And these are just a few, of course. With the contrast brightness gadgets. many other areas to note with this panorama pia24147. Please go ahead and explore at your whim. Your ideas are always encouraged, of course. The brightness and contrast tools we are focusing in on these particular regions, as noted with the highlighting of this quote area A of PIA24147, part 2. And just expanding a bit more, you can notice there are intricate symmetrical structures in here. Yet again, the landform architecture does stand out, you must admit. It does indicate that it could in fact be city-like regions or whatnot. Just notice the shadowy areas here that would indicate that the structures around it would have some type of plan creation. This structure here also seems to be elevated substantially off the surface as well. Notable structure, very symmetrical. This area was noted as being somewhat globular circular before. Now it's taking on some more linear pattern, a rectangle or square or whatnot, on account of the conscious brightness tool, which is showing shadowy areas, and in addition to the symmetrical structures around it. And this is what we get with the conscious brightness tool. Quite intricate designs here, all over the place, actually. Quite notable just to place some more attention. There does appear to be layering elements, areas, whatnot. And look at this honeycomb structure as well. And just notice this form here, it seems to be just elevated and well designed. It could be different districts, different layers, different elevations of an early otherworldly type of architecture. And after getting more familiar with this panorama of Mars Area 24147, you must admit that there are some very interesting structures in these other parts of the panorama. And the symmetry, the architectural design, the various elevated areas and patterns and whatnot, it does lead you to come up with some ideas regarding how they were designed, and are they not, in fact, of an early, otherworldly type of creativity or whatnot. And please continue with your exploration. And as noted in the previous video, there are some remarkable designs here. And please expand on your thoughts, and all the best in your future space explorations. Thank you for your time on behalf of Effective Evolution.